look at me. I'm up here. So I have a couple of cameras that we use normally in our program, and I'm going to show you two different ways to set up our cameras with macro lenses. Alright, first one. This guy does not have any lens on it, but this is the camera rig that I normally use to shoot macro stuff. One of the reasons I have this is so I can mount it on a tripod a bunch of different ways. If I want to orient the camera this way, I have a tripod mount. I can put it on one of the pan tilt heads that we have. If I want to orient my camera. So I've got this one so I can orient it normally in landscape format as you would shoot a video. But it's set up so that you can do either way with this one on a pan tilt tripod. Now, we're going to put this on it. This is a specifically set up macro lens that we have. It has a little bit of stabilization in it, but there you go. It's a Canon EFS 35 millimeter, 0.13 meters. So that's pretty close. That's pretty close. That means it'll get really close to the subject and keep it in focus. The other thing that's cool on this one is you won't see it till I have the camera going, but there's a ring light around the lens here. So if you get it really close to your subject, you can light it up by hitting this. It'll turn on the light. Alright. And you've probably seen me put a lens on a camera before, but this one, we're lining up the white square with the white square, and there you go. Now, here's the question. Yeah, I didn't put a battery in there. So, I've got a macro lens on there. You can put a little bit of a lens hood on there if you want to, if you don't need the light to work. All right. The other macro setup that we normally do is still going to be a lens change, but on this one, I'm using the 50 millimeter lens, which normally isn't great for macro stuff, but if I use one of these, which is an extension ring, it lets this lens focus on a small object at essentially half the distance that it normally would. So, putting an extension ring on this one, anytime you get a lens out, you want to cover up that. Alright. It's a little more complicated because there are a lot of red dots and white squares. So, I think the way is you can line up both the square and the dot. No, we have to go all the way to this dot. That's right. And it rotates. Click. Now this one has its own red dot and white square that we can line up this one with. Okay. Now this one's set up as a macro lens also. It should work pretty good for your macro photography challenge. Cool, thanks.